Um, I love your film. When it ended, my heart was pounding, and I think it's because it's not about politics. It's about human beings and the war casualties. I think this is because you spend a lot of time with the soldiers. You became like part of the family. How much time before you started filming were you with them?
Well, I met them for the first time 2 months before we were deployed to Afghanistan, and I went with them for two exercises, training to go there. And we went, we also went out on the town, and got drunk together, and did the whole male bonding thing.
So you became friends before you became like co-workers?
No, we were never co-workers. I wasn't. It was always very clear that I was not a soldier. I was a filmmaker, and I was there to describe the situation. But obviously, when you make film and you spend a lot of time with people, you bond as well, and you create a bond of trust. And it's necessary to make a film like that. That you invest yourself, that you give something of yourself, because a film only comes with a price. And a price, in this sense, I think, was to do the exact same thing as they did. Which means putting your life in the same danger as they did, and in that way, getting there except for you to tell the story.
So were you afraid in any moment?
Well, of course. I mean, when people shoot at you, which happens regularly in Afghanistan, you get scared, but you also, in some strange way, learn how to deal with that fear.
How did you deal with it? I mean, you were filming. The soldiers, it's its job. You were doing your job, but it's not your responsibility, being on the field.
No, but I've chosen to do a job which is make a film, which is the same decision that they choose when they go into a war situation as soldiers.
So is there something similar in between making a film and, being on the battlefield? Do you think there's something similar?
Well, I think so. They had a job to do and I had a job to do. And we were there not for the same reasons, but we were there with a motivation to be there. So there was definitely a similarity there. But I have to comment on what you say, that this is not it's not a political film. It's not an overtly political film. It doesn't talk about left-wing or right-wing politics or for and against the war in an overt type of sense. But it's definitely a film that tackles micropolitics, that talks about what happens on the ground and how, that leaves questions as to how that affects the situations on a larger scale. So, for me, those types of politics are just as important as the types of politics that are drawn up at the desk in the White House.
You had any problems with the Danish government for this film or something?
No, not when the film was finished. I think they've chosen a strategy to say that, this is a very important film, it's a very important document about what's going on in Afghanistan. It's a very important film about the soldiers' experiences of combat. It brings us closer to them, it makes us understand what they go through. But at the same time, they politically have tried to sideline the film by saying, well, this only looks at a very small part of what Afghanistan is, which is true to an extent. To another extent, the film talks about some very universal topics that are at stake when you're in a war and how that affects the situation at large. So I think their way of trying to, marginalize the political impact of the film in that way has been their way of trying to deal with it. When we were in Afghanistan, after we filmed some very controversial scenes of the soldiers killing people in a ditch.
Which is like the most, the moment of the film.
Yeah, that's obviously the point in the film where everything is, is put to the test. When the war is so, when the war creeps under people's skin, when it's so close that, reality of death is right in your face. This was something that the army certainly wasn't keen on getting out, and they did try to, confiscate our material, and obviously we had a fight over that, and that was a very unpleasant moment, and it was negotiated at top level, and I think people in the army and in the Ministry of Defense realized that it would probably be more damaging to stop the film than to make it, than to keep us filming and then deal with it at a later stage. So,
and just one last question. You won on the Critics Week in Cannes. How does this prize help your film to be distributed, to come to other countries, so a lot of people can see it? Does this help, this prize?
Of course. I mean, this is. When you win an award at Cannes, your film is gonna, have the opportunity to reach the whole world. Lots of people will be interested in acquiring the film and distributing the film, and this has happened to Armadillo. It's being distributed all over Europe and in the US, and now also in Mexico, and hopefully in the rest of South and Latin America. So obviously getting that kind of attention gives you a whole other platform for the film to come out. I mean, the film sparked huge debate in Denmark. There's no other film in Danish film history that has made so many headlines as Armadillo, and it's made a big debate in Norway and Finland as well. And now we'll see how the rest of the world's going to tackle the film.
Well, good luck and congratulations.
Thank you very much.